He famously sang about the girl who studied at St Martin's College and wanted to live like common people. Well, Jarvis Cocker was himself a student at that leading art and design school in London.
That was before he went on to great success as the lead singer of Pulp and became a figurehead for 90s Britpop. But he's always been known for pushing artistic boundaries, and now he wants to see more children engage with art and encourage them to visit museums. To tell us more, Jarvis is here himself.
Good morning.
Good morning to
Hi.
you.
Great to see you. Why do you want children to go to art galleries? Don't they make a lot of noise and sort of touch the exhibits?
Well, that's the point, isn't it? To, you know, otherwise it's very stuffy. It's good. I got asked to do this. I've been living in Paris a bit over the last few years, travelling a lot between London and Paris. And maybe because of that, I'm very used to being on trains. Mm-hmm. The Eurostar people are doing this Culture Connect thing, which is, like you say, is to try and encourage people to go to galleries, to link galleries in London and galleries in Paris. And I'm an ambassador. I'm an ambassador for this thing, you know. You're talking to an ambassador this morning.
How does that feel?
Great.
Well, that's a kind of good point. The establishment type of thing, you know, formal, museums and art galleries. Quite a lot of people think they're a little bit stuffy. I wouldn't have seen that as naturally your kind of thing.
No, but I think that's a fallacy, you know. I think it's like, in a way, the fears are almost like the fears that people have when they're going abroad. They think, oh, I wonder what it's going to be like. Will I like the food? Oh, it's going to be, you know, like it's going to be scary in some way. Like to go in a museum's going to be scary, and it's not. I think, and especially with kids, I think if they get used to going in them from an early age, so it's not like, oh, a big deal, we're going to an art gallery today. Like, so you expect something mind-blowing. If you just have that as part of your life, then you get to kind of feel comfortable and appreciate
And
it.
do you think that curators and security guards are as comfortable with that idea? I mean, do you think that we are open to children and young people in these kind of environments?
I'm just remembering a time, actually. I'm here espousing all this, but I remember a time I went to the Tate Modern. They had an exhibition on there. Who was that guy? Rousseau, I think it was. The one who went off and did jungly kind of pictures. Anyway, so I went there and I went with my son, and he was only about... He was still going in a kind of stroller, but he could walk a little bit.
About 2, something.
Something like that. So I was having a look, and then I turned around, and he'd got out of the stroller, he'd got behind it, and he was heading for one of these massive canvases at a really fast pace. I think, you know, this is a painting where I don't know how much it would be worth. So I just had to kind of, you know, leap across the room and stop him. Anyway, no damage was done.
It was kind of like an installation of itself, was it? Him running and you throwing yourself.
But I don't know. I think, like we said at the start, you know, if you think of art as something that you have to kind of stand there and be very serious about, I don't think that's right. You know, art and all forms of culture, it's a form of communication made by other people, and I think that's what, you know, we're human beings. Another human being made that thing. It gives you a chance to see things through that person's eyes a bit, and it's. You
say you divide your time a little bit between Paris and London. Do they do things differently over there? Is there a different culture?
Ooh la la, ooh la la.
Is that a yes or a no?
It is different. I think that's the other thing that's quite interesting, is that it's really quick to get to Paris now. It's never been quicker to get there, and yet it is different. You know, there are little differences. For some reason, the one that I always say is that they play classical music in car parks there, but that's probably not the best.
Do they?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, yeah, you park your car and then you get out and there's a strains of... It's nice.
Is that supposed to calm people
I
down?
don't know, yeah, it seems to work.
What form is this initiative going to actually take? I mean, what are you actually going to be doing over the next few, months?
I think it's my job to let people know that it exists.
Right.
I mean, you know, people travel anyway, but the thing is, if you go on the train, if you show your ticket at any one of the participating museums, then you get 2 people in for the price of one. So.
You used to be an art and design student.
I did, yes.
And were you a good one? I mean, were you good at art, or did you spend the time sort of messing about and doing crazy things which people would go, that's not art?
I can't draw. I still can't draw. I'm rubbish. I mean, really, I'm rubbish.
Is that not one of the basic requirements for
entry?
entry?
No, because the course that I was doing was a film and video course.
Ah, okay.
So I was doing this. You know. Yes, darling, that looks great. All that stuff. So, I don't know. you know, you say messing about at art college. I think that's one of the great things about art college. There's things that you know, lectures and things that happen then or whatever, or that I can't say I made use of them straight away, but sometimes they come into my head now, you know. I think that's a good thing about an art college. You expose yourself to lots of things. You hopefully it broadens your mind. You think about things in a different way, and that kind of sets you up for the rest of your life. You can't really like quantify it, like say, I produce this one thing. I think it's more like it forms your mind. It forms the way you look at the world.
Once upon a time, I think you said that you thought art galleries were a bit too much like churches, too formal. Have you changed, or how have they changed?
No, I mean, I think that's the thing that I don't like about them. The thing that this solemnity or whatever, sometimes that you go and you put yourself in front of a piece of art and you think, right, I should be feeling something now, you know, and people do seem to be very serious about it. I do think that's loosened up a lot now.
Yeah.
The cafes in these places have improved.
And shops?
Yeah, and stuff, you know, it is more of a place, I think, generally museums, not just art galleries, but other museums as well, are trying to make it more of a thing where it's a, you know, it's a more pleasant environment to be.
Yeah. And we've spent all this time talking about art, but not talking about your music. And I think as we can finish off with just sort of, while we're talking, just having a look at...
Oh, this is going to make me feel sick.
Does it make you feel sick?
Well, I hate seeing myself perform and hearing my own music.
Because you're proud of it, aren't you?
Well, yeah, but it's like, it's something that you do on stage, and so to be confronted with it, especially at this time in the morning.
Is it too early?
Anyway, it's okay.
So musically now...
I'll just go like this.
Well, okay.
Yes, you can do that. Tell us what's happening in the musically for you.
I'm kind of taking a little bit of a rest from it because we're actually colleagues. I don't know if you realise that. I'm working for BBC Six Music at the moment. Obviously, maybe not for much longer because of all the controversy of whether it's going to get shut down. But I do a show on there on Sunday afternoons. So kind of
DJing, radio DJing rather than playing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'll get round to it later. But
and what do you like when you're playing? You know, what are your tastes at the moment? What are you listening to?
Well, the show that I do is on a Sunday afternoon, so I try to play quite mellow kind of stuff.
All right.
Kind of nice and laid back.
Lovely.
Well, it's lovely to have you in. Thanks very much indeed for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
Great note to end the programme on. Lovely to see you. Thanks very much indeed. And lovely, thank you very much indeed for your company. Have a lovely day. Charlie and I will be here across the weekend. Bye-bye.